And guess what? Black men are stepping up to the plate, honey, and they are stepping to Brandon Ruckus Tatum, y'all. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So we have these Willie D and this Doctor dude, and pretty much he's gonna tell us what's really going on with Brandon and all the mental illness that he got going on with him. So because a lot of people want to know, why does he move the way he does? Who is this Brandon Tatum? So they're gonna break it all down. They are putting belt to you know what. So I wanted to bring this video up. I wanted to react. I thought that find it interesting. So I want you guys to comment. Let me know what you guys think. So let's pull up Willie D and shout out to Willie D for giving us this intel.
You can't hear me.
Let me see. Hold.
Let me try this.
Completely ill prepared to have that debate. He did not have the facts. He did not have the data. Several times in an interview, someone would present him with knowledge related to.
They're talking about the Nancy interview, how Nancy smoked his butt. He was not prepared. He's never prepared. All he does is gossip. That's all he does is run that gossiping mouth. That's why he got a YouTube channel. He's not going to school for anything. He just know how to gossip. Okay, let's go.
Topic, and he would say, "I'm not aware of that," which is unbelievably inept, because if I'm going to go on a debate topic about whether or not the Earth is flat or not, I should be prepared to have that debate and have the data points related to it. Everything he said was very much like, "No, I'm not aware of that," which put the other person he was debating in the position to have to
Second that, maybe they're not talking about Nancy Grace. I think Brandon Tatum, he just had this debate with racism. That's what they talking about. Let's go.
Him, which created an interesting dynamic. So that person said, "Here are the medical data points about infant mortality rates, Black women mortality rates," and he would present them to him, and ex-officer Tatum would say, "I'm not aware of that." So now this person has to teach him. So here's what that is. And then ex-officer Tatum would not accept the teaching that came from the other person he was debating. So to answer your question, like, why is it that some people just argue points, like, no matter what? It's because there's some sort of benefit from him holding that position. Number one, think of the brand deals that he must have. Think of the affiliations that he has, that if he does in fact say, "Oh, wow, that's a good point. I guess the thing you're saying is true," he actually loses followers, loses money, loses connection, loses access, loses revenue.
Sounds like a puppet to me. Press 3 if that sounds like a puppet. He can't be honest because he is a puppet for the white man. They have him on strings. So if he be himself, that's cutting the strings from his puppet master. And therefore, they're going to cut them checks, and that's his livelihood. So he's a sellout.
So he is not there in good faith to have a debate. He's there to protect his brand, and I'm sure Jubilee paid him to be there. So what I was watching, which was incredibly hard to watch, but what I was watching was a man who was just there fulfilling obligations for the external benefits that he gets. But there are several things he was doing. Like, for example, that same guy who was presenting very concrete medical data points to him, he would respond by looking up. He would go like this. Now we know that when you're doing that, you're actually not engaged. You have disconnected from the content, and you're now accessing things in your brain. And what he's most likely accessing is, how do I respond to this in a way that maintains my brand? When you say really connected, think about it in this way. Like if you're arguing with your partner, and you're accusing your partner of infidelity, I'm going to be real specific here. If you're accusing your partner of infidelity, where were you last night? Who were you with? And what were you doing? And your partner goes like this. You are immediately going to be like, you are lying.
Yeah.
Like if you stay engaged in the conversation, that tells you that you're connected to the data and we're having an actual conversation.
He's sure right. You sure right. You know they lying when they looking up. They trying to figure out a good lie that you gonna buy. He's sure right. He know what he talking about.
But the moment you go, you're accessing the creative part of your brain, which I experience that as he's trying to think, how do I respond to this debater, to this person that's debating me, in a way that protects the brand that I have, which is troubling. That was not a good faith debate. It was terrible to watch, actually.
Now, I know this is going to be difficult for you to do because you're a stand-up guy, but I need you to channel your inner Sambo. I need you. Okay, well, it's not in you, but I need you to channel it. I need you to go get it from one of the Sambos. Go get it and act like you a Sambo or something, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how does a person throw a community that they're from under the bus consistently while praising another community consistently, specifically a community that has shown the propensity to subjugate, undermine, discriminate, and hate the community which you're from?
Oh, that's easy. No, I don't have that in me, but I am a well-read, well-researched person who can describe psychological phenomena pretty concisely.
Help me with this, bro. I need the information on this one.
Well, the answer to that question is resentment. If I am from the Black community and I have never felt accepted within that community,
boom.
I never felt like in the in crowd, Black girls I wanted to date, or Black guys, doesn't matter, but Black people I wanted to date always rejected me. And then you go off into another world. In this case, he went from Fort Worth, Texas, and a very Black area of Fort Worth, Texas, an area of Fort Worth, Texas known as Stop 6. He went to Dunbar High School, which is an incredibly African-American African-American school, predominantly African-American school. And he leaves that school, and then he goes to a school in Arizona to play football. So imagine if you have not experienced acceptance at Dunbar High School, and you were a standout athlete and all these things, and then you go to University of Arizona, which is no longer predominantly Black, and let's say the white community, like, they want you in their fraternities, and the white girls want you to date, and they're saying positive things about you. You begin to build resentment towards your own people and start to seek acceptance from another group, which I believe is exactly what happened with Brandon Tatum.
I can see that. Do you guys agree with this man? Press 7 if you guys agree with him. I definitely see that. When you feel rejected, you have resentment, so you get validation and acceptance from a different group. I get that.
How do you know when someone truly believes that what they're saying is independent versus trying to protect an identity that they built?
It would move. Like, if I genuinely believed, like, I'll continue to use like a silly example, but if I genuinely believe the earth is flat, I'm not being paid for that belief. I have no brand deals for that belief. I just believe the earth is flat. Mm-hmm. And then I meet Neil deGrasse Tyson, who proves to me that the earth is in fact a globe. Then you would see me go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I really appreciate that. But if I truly believe the earth is flat, and I've got 2 million subscribers on Instagram because I keep posting flat earth content, and I have brand deals, and I get access to very powerful people. I mean, Brandon Tatum has been photographed at the White House with some of the most prominent people in the Trump administration, including Donald Trump. So I get access, I get money. So now when Neil deGrasse Tyson tries to prove to me the earth is flat, my brain starts processing like, wait, whoa, I can't accept this, because if I do accept this, I lose access and I lose money. So that you can tell when someone has an independent thought because they're perfectly comfortable moving that independent thought. The moment someone refuses to move their position in the face of concrete data, you know there's an external thing that is holding them in the position that they are in.
But here's the thing, man, and that's right on the money right there, man. I just love the way that you put those words together, man, because a lot of us, we have these thoughts and we can articulate, at least from, a lived experience, what we see and why we think these things occur, right? But to have like clinical information about that, like to have hear that from somebody who studied it and who can deliver it the way that you deliver it, man, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Did you know how valuable you are? Do you know how?
No.
You are very valuable, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
So here's the thing to me, man. Like I just don't get how someone can admire those who reject or diminish him and his people. I do not understand that. Can you break that down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, first of all, the longer you go into a role, the more true that role becomes to you. So I don't know that he started off actually admiring them, but he's been playing this role. I mean, let's be honest. Officer Tatum is a character. And the reason I know it's a character, because Officer Tatum is...
Ooh, did you hear that? Officer Tatum is a character. Ooh, a real black man set his butt straight. Press 2 of you agree. Officer Tatum is a character. Man, his ass ain't even real. He's a damn character, honey. He's cosplaying. Go ahead.
A job. That's a job he once had. He has lost that job, but he is continuing the character. Why? Because there's a lot of benefit and financial gain for him to do so. Like if you were a cab driver and got fired, you wouldn't call him, hey, cab driver Tatum, years later, right? Like he's holding on to the character because there's some incentive for him to do this. But this goes all the way back to slave mentality. It goes all the way back to what we used to refer to as house Negroes. House Negroes they live a more comfortable life. Like they're in the actual house with the master. They get access to better food, better clothing, better treatment. So when a field Negro is like, man, I hate living here, they've been playing that role for so long as a survival instinct that they're going to say stuff to me like, why? It's great here. Why are you making waves? That is exactly what this guy is doing. This shtick that he created got him connected to Turning Point USA and Charlie Clerk, where he learned how to access the conservative world and how to speak to them, how to get their feedback. This is much more about them admiring him than it is about him admiring them. And he learned how to speak to them while working for Charlie Kirk. But just to give you an idea of how you don't even realize or even care when you're being slapped in the face. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, murdered, which my heart goes out, I don't want anybody to be violently removed. But when Charlie Kirk was murdered, this man went online and was crying on podcasts about how a great man had just been murdered and he's going to miss his friend Charlie Kirk. And they did not invite him to the funeral. So like he's playing a role, not even caring how they're treating him, because he's not interested in whether or not he admires them. He's interested in whether or not that audience admires him. And he has figured out how to turn that character into a large platform with a lot of money.
Say, man, what I want to know is this, man. Like I remember growing up, and I would see every now and then we go like, well, that guy right there, he's a chuck and jive, step and fetch it, sellout, right?
Yeah.
And then there was one right here, then there was one over here, and then that was about it. And then we get the advent of the internet, and all of a sudden, okay, it's two or three of them. Oh, I didn't know he thought like that. Damn, and then you get a few more, and you go, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, it's like somebody opened the levees, and these Boy, they just came rushing through. I'm a Sambo, I'm a Sambo, I'm a come and get it, Sambo. They were just everywhere, man. They just was coming out everywhere, like, and they were like mutating at the same time. It's like it's so many of them, and you got some of them. They got they're at the top of the sellout mountain. It's like a few of them at the top, Mount Everest type sellouts, right? These are some of your greatest career. C rhymes with moon. They're some of the greatest ones, right? What is so many of them, man? What I want to know is, what is the common trait that these type of people have, that all of these type of people have, who are willing to betray their principles in their community?
Well, I don't think they have principles, to be honest with you, and I don't think they associate that with that community. I think the most common trait is insecurity, because in order, so I'm going to go back to my childhood, and the biggest rap group that exploded for me in my childhood was Run DMC, and very often when you are Black and you're trying to succeed in anything, there's usually a white power structure that you have to get approval from in order to succeed in that thing.
In the United States.
In the United States, correct. Now, if you think about rap before Run DMC, these people had like shoulder pads with spikes on them, leather pants, and all these. Like Run DMC said, we're gonna dress the way that we dress on the street. We're gonna dress like that on the stage. And they had this famous song, like, I got Lee's on my legs and Adidas on my feet. Like, they were the first ones to be like, this is how we're going to show up as ourselves. And it's because they were a bunch of really confident, self-assured Black men that weren't seeking the approval of the white power structure. They happened that one of them was related to Russell Simmons, who created a record label. So they had their own pathway to be able to do this. Other people don't have the security or self-assurance like Officer Tatum. I would be willing, I've never met or assessed this man. I guarantee you, if I were to assess him, he would be an extraordinarily insecure man. So rather than be his true, authentic self, he comes from an actual very prominent family in the Stop 6 area, Fort Worth, Texas. His grandfather was a police chief in that area. He had another relative, maybe even the same person, I can't remember, but he had another relative that was an All-American football player at Ohio State University. But you never hear him talk about that. What you hear him talk about is his two family members that are currently incarcerated. Why does he do that? Because I don't think he feels good enough about himself to live up to the family legacy that some of the Black people in his family have set for him. Because I think he has a significant insecurity problem, as they all do. Run DMC did not have an insecurity problem. They're like, we're going to dress how we dress, and we're going to make you like me. NWA, same thing. We're going to rap and talk the way people.
Ooh, this is powerful, right? All right. Well, I'm going to cut it short, honey, because this is powerful, but I just wanted to shed some light on this, and Black men actually putting belt to ass to when it comes to Brandon Tatum. All right, you guys, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next upload.